Today at Best for Brides we will talk about everything you need to know about classic wedding. Subscribe to our channel Best for Brides for further updates. When it comes to successfully carrying off a traditional concept for a wedding, sophistication is the name of the game. The following are some of our favorite ways to get a sophisticated look for the big day. If you want to throw a party that is elegant, sophisticated, and won't go out of style anytime soon, then a traditional wedding theme is the way to go. Forget about the most recent tendencies in wedding decoration. This theme is all about incorporating components that will last the test of time, such as formal attire, muted color palettes, stationery with monograms, and plenty of sparkling wine, of course. With the aid of our practical guide, which details everything you need to know about traditional wedding style from the beginning to the end, we are here to assist you in mastering the beautiful aesthetic that is in vogue today. Are you thinking about having a traditional style wedding? Have a look at this list we've compiled of the most important ideas. The Duke's Palace or Mansion. If you have the correct decorations, you can make a traditional wedding theme work for practically any sort of venue. However, country clubs, hotels, estates, ballrooms, and banquet halls are the types of locations that are the most ideal. Because these locations are typically classic and elegant to begin with, you won't have to do as much work to convert the area as you would otherwise. If you would rather hold the event outside, you can think of holding it in a garden designed in the European style, in a formal courtyard, or on a grand estate, perhaps a castle. Make it a point to steer clear of anything that is excessively rustic or rugged. Your wedding reception could take place in a museum, a conservatory, or any other location that is tastefully decorated for a fresh take on the traditional wedding theme. Season. The beauty of opting for a timeless concept for your wedding is that it will look wonderful no matter the time of year. This look is adaptable enough to be worn at any time of the year as long as it is based on the fundamental principles of classic style. If you so like, you can show your appreciation for the season by incorporating seasonal touches into your clothes, floral arrangements, and stationery. Color palette. To pull off this look for your wedding, use hues that are sophisticated yet complementary to one another. This typically implies avoiding anything that is very vivid or fluorescent, but this does not mean that your color palette has to be boring. First things first, have a look at the present decor of your venue, the wallpaper, carpet, lighting fixtures, etc. If there are any dominant colors, attempt to include them into your palette for a style that won't clash with your surroundings on the big day. This will ensure that you have a look that is appropriate for the occasion. When planning a wedding with a traditional theme, starting with neutral colors is almost always a good idea. It is possible to create an arresting color scheme by combining shades of gray, black, white, ivory, and beige with other hues. Alternatively, you may choose to forego the use of accent colors in favor of an all-neutral color palette for your wedding. You can incorporate depth by utilizing a range of textures and metallics, or you can add drama by using hues like red, blue, coral, emerald, or burgundy. Both of these techniques will help you achieve your desired effect. Altering your color scheme to reflect the time of year of your nuptials is another option. In the winter, metallics and darker colors such as gold, silver, navy blue, and black are your best bets for fashion. Pastel colors are always a nice, new alternative, especially in the spring and summer. Peach, French blue, sage green, lavender, butter yellow, and blush are some of our favorite colors. Stationery. In general, the stationery for classic weddings should adhere to formal conventions and be more traditional. You have the option of personalizing your invitation suite by using elements like stripes, foil, letterpress lettering, or laser-cut filigrees. Your wedding monogram is an essential component of any traditional wedding. Put a crowning touch on the invitation set by having hand-calligraphed addresses created specifically for it. Decor. The last thing you want is to look back at your wedding photos in a few decades and wonder what on earth you were thinking when you included all of the latest trends on your big day. Even though it can be enjoyable to include all of the latest trends, When it comes to selecting traditional elements for your wedding, the question, will this still seem relevant in 20, 30, or 40 years? Should be your first consideration. If you aren't sure, it's probably best to pass on this opportunity. Keep an eye out for items that have a timeless quality about them, such exquisite china, candelabras, votive candles, chair sashes, and luxurious table linens. You should also make an effort to maintain a somewhat basic design and steer clear of anything that is overly showy or expensive. Having said that, traditional decorations for weddings do not have to be boring. You can spruce up regular banquet tables by adding sequined runners to them. You can also replace typical Chiavari chairs with an upholstered type, or you can drape fabric swags all over the venue. In the end, you should work on cultivating an atmosphere that exudes style, elegance, and sophistication. Avoid using mismatched pieces, as this may give the impression that the wedding is trying too hard to be unique. In its place, you should limit yourself to just 2 or 3 colors and make consistent use of the same kinds of embellishments, pearl strands, lace, rhinestones, etc., all over the event in order to get an appearance that is coherent and well planned. Flowers. When it comes to the flowers used in weddings, there is nothing more traditional than roses. Learn all about the types of roses here. We are huge fans of roses due to the classic and romantic allure they exude, as well as the fact that they are available throughout the entire year. Roses are available in a dizzying array of shapes, hues, and variations, and not only do they exude an incredibly alluring fragrance. Peonies are another wedding flower that epitomizes traditional beauty. Yet, because they are only available for a few periods of time each year, their cost is far higher than that of roses and the majority of other types of wedding flowers. Flowers such as hydrangeas, phalaenopsis orchids, stephanotis, ranunculuses, and anemones are all wonderful choices for traditional wedding bouquets and flower arrangements. If you're going to be carrying a bouquet, steer clear of anything that looks overly trendy, such big arrangements or a lot of greenery that's just lying around. Instead, you should have the florist build a bouquet for you that is more symmetrical and uses only a few different kinds of flowers and accents. To add a bit of your own personality to the bouquet, finish it off with some satin ribbons, lace, or a sparkly brooch. Remember not to overlook the location of your ceremony. You can create a more romantic atmosphere by scattering flower petals along the aisle or constructing floral arches to place at the altar. Be careful not to go overboard with the floral design. Doing so will draw attention away from you and your significant other if there are too many flowers. The centerpieces at the reception should be fairly identical, but you can add some visual interest by switching between tall and short arrangements at each table. Candelabras, rose bowls, and glass cylinder vases are some of the more traditional wedding decoration alternatives that we particularly adore. Attire. You should anticipate the dress code to be on the nicer side depending on the level of formality of the location you will be attending. A wedding held in a ballroom or country club will almost always require formal attire, but a wedding held in a park, museum, or winery may give you the opportunity to wear something more casual. For brides who are looking for a more conventional and traditional appearance, a ball gown is the ideal choice. You may go for something simple like a satin dress, or you could opt for something more spectacular like something with tulle, beaded embroidery, or delicate lace accents. Fitted gowns and sheath gowns are two equally classic alternatives to the silhouette of a ball gown if you don't feel comfortable in a ball gown. Pearl jewelry, which is very classic. Modest shoes and a polished hairstyle are all great accessories to have. You can complete your outfit for the wedding by wrapping a sash around your waist and tying it in a bow. Cake and dessert. A traditional wedding simply cannot exist in its entirety in the absence of a traditional wedding cake. You have the option of keeping things straightforward with just the icing and a topper, or you can consult with the baker about adding some understated ornamental touches. Among our favorites are hand-piped icing, Swiss dots, monograms, and fresh flowers in a variety of shapes and sizes. The wedding cake with the fondant frosting will have the neatest appearance. But the wedding cake with the buttercream icing and a few delicate flowers on top will be oh so chic. This is it for today's video. Do let us know what you think about it. Subscribe to Best for Brides for more videos like this.